from Effortless Beauty, and today we've got another video in our series of demystifying beauty routines. Let's get into it. In this video, we're looking at how to do a manicure on yourself at home. For a manicure at home, you need just a few tools to get started. You need a good pair of nail clippers, a nail file, an orange wood stick, and at least a two-sided nail buffer. Now, to trim your nails, you do it in 2 steps. So you start on one side where you want to cut, and then you cut through to the other side. Now, the reason we do it in 2 steps is because if you were to do it in 1 step, you'd flatten the nail and potentially cause little splits in nails on the side. So we do it in 2 really simple steps. So when you've trimmed your nails, what you need to do then is to file them, because nobody wants a pointy edge. So when you file your nails, you always file into the middle. Always file into the middle. Never file flat across the top, and never go the other way. If you know the sound of fingernails going down a chalkboard, that's pretty much what you're doing when you go the wrong way. So always, always, always just gently shape in. Now, one thing to remember, that your nails are not indestructible. So if you get a nail file that has 2 sides with 2 different coarse strengths, always try to use the fine coarse. It will be less damaging, less harsh on your nails, and less likely to cause any future damage. The next step in your DIY manicure is a cuticle remover. So over time, over a couple of days, your cuticles, which grow from here, can grow up onto your nail. So we want to get rid of those so we have a nice clean nail plate. So get yourself a really good quality cuticle remover and just apply according to the directions of your product. Get yourself the orange wood stick that we talked about before, and using the flat end, not a pointy end, just gently and ever so gently, just push back, just gently. You should barely feel it. Now, a word of warning, if you tend to bite your cuticles, or if you tend to play with them and tear them and they're red and inflamed, don't do this step. Miss it completely, because you don't want to aggravate anything that might be infected, might be dirty. So we'll leave those bits alone. But if you've got clean and clear cuticles, just push them back and then wash the cuticle remover off. The next step in your DIY manicure is to buff your nails. Now, when you want to buff your nails, make sure you have a good quality nail buff with at least 1 rough side and 1 shiny side. Now, you shouldn't overuse your nail buff because it will wear down over time. So don't be scared to replace them. Now, a tip with buffing your nails is not to buff so that all the nail comes off. You just want to gently buff and to remove any ridges, which is really simple. You just, a couple, only ever across the nail with the rough side, turn it over, buff, wipe with the shiny side. So all you're doing with your rough side, just a couple, only ever, you don't go this way, you don't go that way, just across, just gently, turn your buffer over, and there you go, shiny nails. To really maintain your skin, just like your face, you also need to exfoliate your hands, because your hands get weather beaten, they get abused, they're in all sorts of things. You really want to give them a treat. So once a week, just like your face, just get yourself some exfoliant and just like you would with a hand soap, nourish all over. By doing this, you'll get rid of those dead layers of skin And when you apply your moisturiser, the moisturiser will go in much deeper because all of the dead skin has gone. Okay, so now for the fun part. We've prepared our fingernails, they're looking great, they're well shaped, but now to paint them. So 2 pro tips I have for you. Whenever you paint your fingernails or toenails, always use a base coat, a colour coat and a top coat. The base coat will do a couple of things for you. It'll help the colour to stay on longer, and it'll stop the colour from staining your fingernails. It also helps when it comes time to take it off at the end. The other pro tip I have for you is to try to get a good quality nail polish that has a nice wide flat brush. When applying your nail polish, a steady hand is super important, and really it does take some practice to get it done. I've been painting my nails since I was 13 and I won't tell you how long ago that was. So, your base coat. Just a little bit, you don't need much. And in an ideal world, you'll only take a couple of passes. Now you'll see, I lift my fingers up. This makes it much easier for me to apply. So I take my base coat and I just go 1, 2. Easy, 1, 2. And do your base coat on all your fingernails and then come back to where you started. So when you're applying colour, getting the right amount of nail polish on your brush is really essential. So with your nice flat brush, like we've talked about before, dip it in, and on this part, which will be the top part, wipe all the excess off. And then on the other side, you'll see a nice blob of colour. Now that's the blob of colour we need. So, again, fingers up, and in a few passes, gently with your brush flat, apply your nail polish. Now, pro tip. Apply your nail polish right near the edge of the cuticle, but don't go all the way down. Anyone who's had a manicure done by a beauty therapist knows they don't go all the way to the edge. Just makes it a little bit nicer. So you do 1 coat on all your nails and then go back and do another coat on all your nails. I'll be back soon. Okay. So we've done our 2 coats of colour, and now it's time to apply the top coat. The top coat is really important to give that high gloss look and also to protect your colour and make it last a bit longer. Now your pro tip on your top coat is to not push down on the top coat, but actually to glide over the top. So just a simple glide, like it's floating. The brush is floating on top of your nails, because that will also help your colour to stay in place. Now, it's a DIY manicure, so what you may like to do, especially if you're doing this at night time, is to do your top coat in the morning, so then you don't get bedsheet marks in your nice shiny top coat. So, I'm just going to keep painting. Hope you've enjoyed. And if you have any questions, please ask. Thank you.